Welcome back to the community, everybody, and thank you for being here. When you get a chance, pop down in the description, check out the website, lots of cool stuff on it, and other great links down there too. Today, we are going to do distributor installation to show you the location of the drive gear, where it should be and where it could be and still work. And we're also going to show how to set up static timing to get that engine started and the use of the gun. So stay tuned, let's do it together. Okay, we're at the engine compartment now, and what I'm going to show you is first the drive gear before the distributor goes in. As you can see in this photo here, the drive gear is 2 half moons. 1 half moon is actually a little bit smaller, and you want that facing the rear of the car when you install the drive gear. And I'll show you why. If in fact it is 180 out, then your number one will just come up in a different spot with your rotor facing the number one on the distributor cap, I should say. But let me show you what I mean and bring you up close so it will make sense of what I'm talking about before we install the distributor. Okay, this is the drive gear where your distributor goes down inside of the channel, okay? This is the rear of the car, this is the front of the car up here. If you look, there are 2 half moons, all right? The smaller half moon, and you'll notice it when you look at it, will be at the rear of the car, and that will put your rotor in the proper position of number one on the distributor cap. If it would be off and the smaller side would be at the front of the car, then your distributor will just be 180 out, and you'll just have to rotate the wires differently on your distributor cap. It's not a big deal, but it is a big deal, especially if somebody gets the car after you and don't understand why it won't start because they got the wires in the wrong position. So the smaller side of the half moon faces the rear of the car when you install the distributor gear. So let's go ahead now and then just, get the distributor lined up and put into place, and we'll go from there. Okay, here's the bottom of the distributor before I put it in. You can see this side is smaller. This doesn't just go in, it only goes in one way. So if your distributor is not seating all the way down in, you got to take a look. The smaller side has to line up with the smaller side inside there, okay? Mine is already set to top dead center to number one. Don't ever, ever, ever turn this pulley with the distributor out. You'll shear the teeth and push the gear up and out, and you will have serious issues. Don't ever, ever, ever turn this with the distributor not in the engine, okay? So, I'm gonna just move our little tabs. Okay, and you'll see it start to seat completely. You're gonna turn your rotor back and forth just gently while you're dropping it in. See how the rotor's still turning? It's not in yet, okay? There. And if you look down here, it's seated fully, okay? So that's in place. And let's move some of this stuff out of the way. You have your negative here. I'll explain in a minute. The rotor's in place, and all we got to do now is get ready to set the static timing, put the cap and the wires on, okay? Now, what we're going to do is at this point, you would want to go ahead and find top dead center, cylinder number one. Mine's already like that. It's off just a hair, but there it is right there. The split in the case to the indentation. My brain stopped. Okay, so now what we're going to do is there we go. Make sure this is loose so you can move the distributor, okay? And you're gonna make sure everything's at number one, and here's how to tell. So when you're looking straight down, this is the rear of the car back here. You'll see the little slash in the distributor, okay? And it will move if you turn this, but you have the rotor pointed right now at number one on the cap, okay? So you're gonna turn this just like that, where they're lined up and everything is lined up the top dead center for good starting purposes, okay? So now we're gonna put the cap on and get the wires in the proper rotation. Okay, so now the distributor is in place, okay? Remember, our notch is lined up with the rotor. We're at top dead center, so this all should be spot on. Now we want to put the distributor cap on. So let's fit it into place. Turn it. Okay, now your firing order on a distributor is 1, 4, 3, 2 in a clockwise rotation. And if my engine stand was cleaned off, it would show right there anyhow, so you never forget the firing order. So what you notice is you have 2 wires here, 1 and 2, 2 being closest to the rear of the car, and then 3 and 4. Okay, so we're going to do number 1 wire. The rotor is pointed right here. Okay, so we're going to do number 1 wire and get that on first. Okay, so number 1 is back here. You're going to follow that wire over and see which one number 1 is. I know this is a little tricky for filming. This is number 1. So number 1 is going to go right there on your cap, right where the rotor's pointing to on top dead center with the slash in the housing like I showed you. Next would be 4, because you're going 1, 4, 3, 2. So number 4, that would be at the rear. You have 3 and 4. So here is number 4. Okay, and then 3, because it's 3, 4. And then of course you have 2 left. But then snap in. There we go. Then you have number 2 left. Where are you hiding? Right here. Okay, and then of course your coil wire goes into the center. Coil, I said coil. Okay, so that is that. And now we're going to hook the cable, the condenser, the green wire, up to the negative side. I hope that was in view. It's on the negative side. Now you have 15 and 1 on stock coils. It don't say positive, negative, okay? And I'll show you what that means right here. So that you know which one is positive and negative on your coil, okay? So now we've got the distributor in place. It's on top dead center, pointed at number 1 on the rotor, or on the cap, I'm sorry. All the wires are in the right firing order. And of course you can hook this up, you know, your vac canister goes to the side of the carburetor on this model anyhow. Some of you may have a 009 distributor, which the number 1 would end up in a different position, but that's for another time, okay? So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna static time the timing so that you can at least get the car started, and then you can even time it with a gun. So let me show you static time, and let's do that next. Okay, now we're gonna set the static timing. What you're gonna need to have is a test light, okay? They're cheap, you can get one at Harbor Freight for probably 5 or 10 bucks, okay? First, you got to turn the ignition to the on position, so let's do that. Okay, just turn your key to where the light comes on your dash. I should have 2 lights, the other one ain't on right now. Okay, well, there it is, surprise. Okay, let's go to the back. Okay, this is very easy, and this will get you static time to start the car up. Take and put your test light on the negative side of the coil, okay? Once you've done that, take and ground this, okay? Anywhere. I just doing it on a generator. You could do it on your alternator, either way. You're going to take and turn the distributor slowly, counterclockwise, if need be, until the test light comes on. There it is. Okay, it is static time to start up and run. But let's back it off of here and turn it counterclockwise again, just until I'm moving real slow right there. Okay, now you are static timed. Take a 10 millimeter, and tighten up the distributor so that it don't move. You are static timed and you are ready to start the car. Let me show you the gun situation here. So here's an average timing gun, okay, but I do prefer this one. I got this at Harbor Freight also, okay. I've never had an issue with it. And it's made in, looks like Taiwan, but either way, get a timing gun. You need it if you're going to work on these cars. And it has an advanced degrees dial on the back. So let me show you something here. When you have that on here, you have it set at 0, and then wherever you're timing the car at, you will go by the pulley on the car, okay? But if you want to time it at full advance, like a lot of people like to, and I have done it also, time between 28 and 32 degrees at full advance, which would be around 3,000 RPM. So when you do that, you can simply set this, say, at 28 degrees, okay? And doing that, you time the pulley to top dead center because your gun is advanced to 28 degrees. Does that make sense? I hope so. If you have any questions, just leave them, comment down below. Now with these guns, and here's what the deal is. You have, and I'm sure a lot of you know this, but maybe just one person don't, okay? You have on these guns your connector for your spark plug, and you have a positive and negative. The connector from the spark plug has an arrow on it. The arrow has to face the spark plug, okay? So when you put this on, you're just pulling it back, snapping it onto the spark plug wire, and the arrow will face towards the spark plug, okay? Let me show you. Okay. Let's pretend this is, for filming purposes, we'll pretend this is number 1 wire, although we know it's back here, 1, 2, okay? When you have this wire, you see the arrow. You're going to clip it on and see how the arrow is facing the spark plug, okay? And then you just have, moving around here, be patient with me, I'm trying. Then you have your positive and negative, okay? And you can usually jump off the coil or the generator, whatever you prefer, and it's just a positive and negative. And when the car is running, you're squeezing a trigger, and it's a strobe light that will hit there, and you time it to what you need to be, okay? And we'll time an engine so that I can show you exactly what's going on. So that's it for the distributor installation and the drive gear being set properly into place. Setting up your wires, setting static timing to get the car started, because you can't use a timing light if the car is not running yet. So static timing makes a big deal. Okay, I hope this was helpful. Give me a minute here, and I'll explain when the next video is going to be. Okay, so that is everything you need to know, well, technically speaking, on distributor installation, blah, blah, blah. Okay, stay tuned next week for the Will It Run video. That's why I was setting the static timing up and everything, and I thought maybe I'll show you guys that, because I'm actually setting it up to run, you know, to at least make it run. After that, we're going to be doing an engine removal, transmission removal, and a little bit of everything. I got somebody coming over here in about a week. We're going to do a fuel filter relocation under the car. So I told him, bring it over. If you don't mind being filmed, which he doesn't, he's probably going to be in the film with me. And we're going to go ahead and relocate the fuel filter underneath the car with a bracket and eliminate it from the engine compartment. So stay tuned for that one. That'll be a lot of fun, and I've never done one like that yet. So thankfully this guy needs one done. It's a friend of mine. He'll be on film, and we'll show you how to do that too. Stay tuned. There is lots to come on this 68 and helping others. Thanks for being here. I do appreciate it. Have a great day.